Let's talk about Troll Hunters. Many things to observe. I really like this show.
It's a great show.
It's really well animated.
Yeah.
And you're the voice of one of the trolls.
Of Blinky.
Of Blinky. Right. And it's a terrific show. You're the voice of your brother. Is this correct?
Is Mark Hamill.
Is Mark Hamill.
Right, yeah.
What's interesting
very
to me...
good.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that, I didn't even realize this, but you, as a very young man, auditioned for the part of Han Solo in the first Star Wars movie. I didn't know that.
This is a good yarn, too.
Okay.
This is,
Does this end up with you naked eating pasta?
Well, if it had, I would have gotten the part.
Yeah.
But, I had just been thrown out of Juilliard. Now, I always go way back to begin my stories, don't I?
Yeah.
But there was a woman there that taught school. Edith Skinner was her name. She was the voice teacher and had sort of helped invent the phonetic alphabet. She pulled me aside and said, Kelsey, you know, these things happen. You know, some people leave school, they do very well. Which she was right, prophetically. But she said, you have Caruso equipment. I said, oh, that's very nice. And she said, you speak beautifully, and I want to put you in touch with an agent. And I thought, wow, that's great. I was 20 years old. And so she introduced me to Mort Schwartz was his name. And when I walked into his office, he had a Dutch door. There was a secretary here, and then there was a Dutch door, and you could see Mort, you know, through the top door open, but you couldn't get through the bottom door.
Right.
But I looked in, and he said, yeah, what do you want? What do you want? And he's on the phone with Gregory Peck. He says, yeah, Greg, just give me a minute. So I thought, well, maybe he's teasing me.
Maybe that's
not really true.
Yeah, he's just he's on hold.
Greg Peck on the phone.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay. But then he said, what do you want? I said, well, Edith Skinner sent me over. And he said, hey, wait a minute. There's a guy 2 blocks up the street. But he's looking for young men for this movie about outer space. And he said, here, go, boy.
Outer space.
His name is Lucas, and go see him. And I said, great. He's at this address. So I walked up there, and I sat down, and then there's Lucas sitting there, and he explains to me that they're doing this movie about a fairy tale in space. And said, there's 2 guys in it who go and rescue a princess. And that's pretty much it. And he said, I think maybe you're a little old for the younger guy, maybe a little too young for the older guy, but you know, you might make a pretty good, it's sort of like a John Wayne character. And I said, oh, well, I can do that. And then he said, well, I'll think about it. And then that's the last I heard of it. 2 years later, cut to 2 years later, I'm sitting in San Diego. I was working at the Shakespeare Festival there. And I sat down to this movie, and it's and the big cruiser goes across the sky, and then it's Star Wars. And I suddenly realized, oh my God, this is that movie. That's that weird guy. That guy Lucas.
The biggest movie in the history. Yeah.
So I really missed one there.
It worked out for you.
It turned out okay.
It worked out.